Today on the Sane Estate, local journalism under pressure, nonprofit news, misinformation at the town level, and what quietly disappears when no one is paid to pay attention. My conversation with Trevor Meek of Ipswich Local News. I'm John Woolforth, and welcome to the Sane Estate, where Ipswich stories unfold one guest conversation at a time, unless I interrupt them. Today, I'm super excited to be talking to Trevor Meek. Trevor Meek recently took the reins of Ipswich Local News, and I wanted to find out why he does what he does and why any of it actually matters. And it seems to me, anyway, like it increasingly doesn't matter. Local news, it's an endangered species, right? It should be concerning to all of us how few local news sources there are. And consider these stats I pulled from the Pew Research Center, Gallup, and Northwestern Local News Initiative. Trust in news media is historically low. Fewer than 1/3 of Americans say they have a great deal or a fair amount of trust that mass media reports the news fully and fairly. Local news remains more trusted than national news, however, but that trust is declining. Roughly 2/3 of Americans still say they trust local news at least somewhat. Nearly 40% of U.S. local newspapers have closed since the early 2000s, leaving tens of millions of Americans living in areas with limited or no local reporting at all. Despite this, most Americans still say local journalism is important to their community, and even if they do not regularly subscribe or donate. Interesting point, right? Here's the thing about local news. This is my perspective, right? It's like it doesn't shout, right? It doesn't optimize for outrage. We're not clickbait artists in the local news. I mean, it's just not for that reason. It shows up to the meetings, reads the documents, it asks the boring follow-up questions. Maybe they're not boring, but you know what I mean? It's like it's the questions that you should be asking. Mm-hmm. So when that kind of reporting disappears, the problem isn't that people know less. It's that they become increasingly confident that what they believe is true. And unfortunately, a lot of times it isn't. So, Trevor, welcome to the Sane Estate.
Thank you for having me.
Coolness. I got my pad and paper, just like you did when you interviewed me.
That's right.
But mine's bigger, by the way.
No, so your viewers know I've been begging you to come on this show ever since it began. So
yeah,
it's an honor to be here.
That's fantastic. How about that? I just didn't know I was that popular. I mean, if you ask my wife, it's a whole different. I always throw her under the bus, don't I? But you know, it's part of the gig, if you ask me. All right, let's get to the questions. We have a lot. So, obviously, considering how long it takes you to respond to emails, you have a lot going on week to week. So, give me some rundown on a local or a normal week, what it looks like, and how much of it is actually journalism versus just trying to survive.
Well, when we put the paper to bed, when we send it off to the printer on Tuesday, it certainly does feel like we survived another week sometimes,
no kidding,
but it's starting to settle in more now. It's been a few months as editor, so things are getting a little bit smoother.
Shoes are fitting better.
Right, yeah.
Old Muldoon shoes, man. Those are big shoes.
Huge shoes to fill, of course. But I think we're doing a good job. A normal week is, Mondays are the big day for me as the editor. I'm locked in my basement for 12 to 16 hours on Mondays, putting the paper together. It's like solving a puzzle each week. What's going to go where, front page,
right.
Of course, being the biggest part of it, and a photo. Luckily, we have Coco McCabe, a world-class photographer.
She's
Makes
great.
it pretty easy for me. But yeah, Monday's the big day for me, and then the rest of the week, Tuesday, we get the paper out and able to breathe a little bit and relax, and then Wednesday it starts right up again, and we're in our editorial meeting saying, what do we got for this week? What's next? How are we going to fill this paper?
And no Prince Spaghetti for you on Wednesday.
No.
Fair enough. Okay, so it's basically there's a lot to put together, a lot to deal with, obviously, to get the paper to the form in which we see. Right. And I the survival aspect of that. So how do you keep your mind clean and focused?
I don't know if I do.
It's sort of a scattered.
It really is. You're always jumping from one thing to the next. As you mentioned with emails, you'll be working on something and an email will pop up, and a lot of times that email needs to be addressed right away, or a phone call, a lot of phone calls, whether it's from advertisers, funeral homes, a lot of obituaries, spend a lot of time working on obituaries. But yeah, you're just kind of always jumping around and trying to keep it all straight, with the main focus always being Wednesday's paper. What's going to be in the paper. Of course, we have the website too. You've got to keep the website going, which I'm figuring out more and more.
Are you doing that, or someone else managing it?
I'm posting things on the website, and John Muldoon, our founder, he's still involved. He's still reporting, and he's been really helpful with the website, keeping that going.
That's good. You
get a lot of press releases. That's a big thing in our business. Always getting press releases, which sometimes turn into bigger stories. But yeah, there's a lot to juggle, but we have a great team.
So do the press releases, are they always free, or are there versions that people have to pay to post?
No, always free.
Always free.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're press releases that are more like PR. It's more like straight news.
No, that's what I mean. It's all basically advertising some event somebody has coming up, or even a school has awarded a scholarship to a local student or an organization, the Rotary Club or Chamber of Commerce, those sort of things. We get quite a few of those. There's just a lot of people in town doing a lot of great work, and they want to let people know, mostly so that other people will apply for, those awards or grants, that sort of thing. We get a lot of that.
So you're not so mercenary about it. Like, hey, you want to be in the paper? Well, pick it up.
Well, if they want to advertise in the paper, that's a different story.
Well, obviously. Yeah. I know that.
Yeah, so you do know that.
And that's cool. That's fine, though. Absolutely. So you guys are nonprofit, right? That's obviously a different model than corporate owned, and I for one, am grateful that that's the case. But that solves some problems, sure, but it creates others. Do you want to give me an idea of what problems you're seeing because of the nonprofit model?
I mean, we've basically got to beg for money. We had you saw in the paper each week for through the month of December, our fundraising.
Right.
I say beg. We're not begging, of course, but we do call them begging letters. But I don't see that as a burden at all. There's way more benefits, in my opinion, to being a nonprofit than being owned by some hedge fund. Of course, I only have experience at a nonprofit newspaper.
Oh, you did?
I've never worked for the Boston Globe or anything like that. I'm sure there's different pressures, but to my mind, as far as local newspapers, small town journalism, I think this is probably the best model. As long as the community cares. That's the biggest piece. It's and in Ipswich, people certainly do.
The Boston Globe costs more than the New York Times?
I did not know that.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what they want. I don't subscribe to the Globe because there was $58 a month, some crazy amount of money.
Well, there's some ways around that. Call them and tell them you're going to cancel, and
hey, wait,
I don't know if I should be promoting.
You can make a deal. But it's funny because
I don't want to take money away from the Globe.
I don't even read the New York Times enough. Now it's like $28 a month for them, and I'm thinking I'm just going to bail on that.
All right.
Don't tell them.
$28 a month for the New York Times? Well,
yeah. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it does if you don't read it enough. I think that's all. Really, what's the value, right? Like anything else.
Yeah. Do you have time to sit down and read the paper every single day? That's a challenge for me, honestly.
But it's a competition for sources, which of course you're familiar with, right? I mean, although the local news, I think, is presents something that no one else can present for the people of the town.
Right? I would certainly hope so.
I think, I mean, what you're talking about is stuff that affects us and concerns us.
Hyper local.
That's what's cool.
We don't wade outside of that too often. But there has been some crossover with the Globe. We have Billy Baker here on the North Shore. He lives in Essex, actually. He's a reporter for the Globe. He's done some great work. He wrote a story about us, actually, last year.
Did he?
The Ipswich Local News. He wrote a story recently about Galecki's, the lights.
Lights guy, yeah.
In Linebrook. Yeah, that was a great story. So he pops up in Ipswich from time to time. There's always a part of me that's like, oh, damn it. Damn
really?
Billy Baker, yeah.
I should have did that.
Exactly.
Ah, well, that's interesting.
Yep.
But along those lines, I mean, some people say that the local news is, it's dying because people don't care. I don't see that, but I mean,
Who's saying
how
that?
true is that?
Tell me who's saying that.
Just, people I talk to, right? Those people, people tell me all the time, sir, they come up to me and they say, sir, the local news is dying. It's a terrible Trump impersonation.
What a shame.
But anyway, so you don't agree.
I mean, again, my experience is limited to just Ipswich, and in my opinion, it's thriving. Ipswich and Rowley, we seem to be doing quite well here. I'm aware, of course, that newspapers are shutting down every day across the country. You read off some of the stats in the introduction there. It's scary. It's not something I really thought about before I joined this newspaper, honestly, but now that I see the power of it and how much it means to people in this community, I mean, Ipswich is a fantastic news town. I couldn't imagine there being a better one. People just care deeply about every little thing that's going on in the community. I tell the story quite often. One of the biggest stories I've ever written for the paper was a story about beach stickers at Crane Beach. People were infuriated that they were going to be charged for it. I think it's $20 a year, right?
That's $20 a year.
There was a lot of controversy over that. So
it's 40 cents a week, man.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly. So I wrote that story not thinking much of it, and it just exploded, and there was just hundreds of comments, of course. So that's the anecdote I use often to tell people how much people in this town care.
I can speak as a person who was an outsider. I mean, I'm still technically an outsider. Not outsider, that's a different moniker altogether, as we know.
Right. That's copyrighted.
Hello, Doug. So, but because of that, we found it was almost impossible to get into Crane if you were from out of town, right? Mm-hmm. So I thought it was amazing that I can be like a celebrity in this town, drive into the town parking lot, right? Which is you always find a spot. Yep. It's never like full. I mean, every time we've gone there, it's like, go through there, Mr. Wolford, right? And otherwise it would be a catch as catch can. If you were lucky to get in, you get there, the line at the gate, and it's like, oh, you're from out of town? See ya. No more.
That's me.
So
every time I go there, I'm waiting in line to pay to get in.
Yeah. So to me,
if you have any connections that can get me a free bit, anybody out there who can get me a free beach sticker,
sit in the back of my Jeep. You're welcome to do that.
True. I could.
But I think that's why I found it incredibly. That to me is a deal and a half.
Yeah.
For one of the most beautiful beaches in the state.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of how I look at it. I digress. So when a newsroom disappears, though, which again is happening with an alarming frequency, what's the first thing, in your opinion, that the public loses without realizing that they lost it?
I think the biggest thing is probably connection to the community, whether it's just the events that are happening around town, of course, what their neighbors are up to, high school sports, these sort of things. But accountability, too, for, town officials.
Big one.
Government, of course. Can't just let them run roughshod, right? Somebody's got to be paying attention. I think the biggest thing would probably be connection. That's what we hear again and again. Thank you for letting us know about the events that are happening around town, and hearing from a grandmother who saw their grandchild in the paper. That just happened a couple weeks ago. Wanted me to bring a stack of papers up to her, and
that's cool.
Those small things. That's what I love the most. Are those small connections, but important connections.
I think that's tremendously rewarding, right?
No, absolutely.
Which just drives you to be more just dedicated to make it happen.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's huge. So I agree with you that it's, if we lose the local news, then we lose the connection to the local community to some to a great degree, actually. So.
I mean, could you imagine this town without a newspaper?
No. It's interesting, when we first got here, that there was ILN wasn't an entity yet. It was the Chronicle, right? Which was already dying.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know it because, the point was we didn't even knew it existed at first, because you see it in the store. You don't hear about it. It's like it wasn't advertised, and nobody around the area was getting it delivered, which I assume it had gone to online by then, maybe. Is that why?
It may have. I wasn't around then. I hear about it all the time. The demise of the Chronicle and the shell it had become.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
No pun intended.
Right.
Clamshell.
Right.
Anyway.
There you go. But then the Muldoons swooped in, right? And
yeah. Saved the day,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Man. And then they came and said, our job is done, and then went back to Ireland.
That's it. We're
That's
out of
awesome.
here. Yep.
Let's talk a little bit. I mean, we sort of touched on this or implied it anyway, but misinformation, disinformation.
Mm-hmm.
It gets talked about a lot nationally because, of course, that's where most of the form occurs. Although every town, including this one, Piss and Moan, has their area where some of that may exist,
mm-hmm.
right? So what does it actually look like at the town level? Misinformation, disinformation. Is it more imperceptible, or is it you just think there's less of it, or is there if it's more impactful?
I mean, there's no doubt it's out there, of course, but I think there's definitely less of it at the local level, at least that I'm seeing anyways. You know, I'm on Facebook, basically because of it's mandatory with this job, and we get a lot of great story ideas from Facebook. Of course, you run into misinformation, but that's a story idea sometimes too. You know, somebody's making a big claim out there, then you go. Something that comes to mind is, I remember, I think last year there was a story, not a story, somebody on Facebook was claiming, may have been in the Piss and Moan page, which I enjoy, by the way.
Oh, I do too.
Somebody was claiming that there were a bunch of guys riding around in a pool service van, and they attacked an old guy on the street who was walking his dog, and they were trying to steal his dog. Okay. Somebody had posted this, and the responses went wild, and everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening in our town. So I got in touch with Chief Paul Nickus, police chief, and asked him about it, and I think his response was just fake news. He elaborated a little bit on it, but I wrote a story about it. It was a fun little thing to look into. And then I wonder, like, why would somebody make that up? I mean, there were people in the comments saying, it's true, it's absolutely true. They were stealing the dog to bring it to New Hampshire for a dog fighting ring and all these sort of crazy claims. I mean, how does that happen? But in another one, there was a story about people were talking about an abandoned car up by the First Church. I don't know if people were saying it was abandoned. It's been sitting there for years, hasn't moved. But
yeah,
people were saying the owner was dead and that it'd been there for, it might as well be a statue at this point in Ipswich. So I looked into that too and got in touch with Chief Nickus and asked him about that again. Wound up being fake news. The owner is alive and well. I'm happy to report the registration is up to date, but I think the issue was the owner hadn't moved the car during a snow emergency. So
someone just assumed
that really ticked a lot of people off. Then the rumors started flying. And, you know, when you talk about combating misinformation, I don't know that article really helps. People still, I think we're saying in the comments, you know, no, they're dead. And so
why do you think that is? Why does misinformation stick once it starts spreading? Like, is it a mind meld? Not a mind meld, like a mind mass hypnosis? I mean, what?
That might be a better question for a psychologist or it's above my pay grade, I think. But there's no doubt that people want to stick to their guns. Okay. They don't want to be proven wrong, maybe. I'm not sure. But
I think that's a lot of the problem is that people have, this is my theory, is that they don't have the humility to accept that they are wrong and admit to it, or at least explain why they thought that, right?
Nobody likes to admit they're wrong. Right? I've had to offer some corrections on some of my stories, quite a few. You know, it's never fun.
I'm never.
You're never wrong.
I think I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
you
that's
wound up
the
being
old
right.
joke. My God. Anyway, so along those lines, because you did sort of do this, what was going to be my next question was, is there a point where trying to correct, you know, misinformation makes things worse? You know, how do you decide when to engage or not at all?
I mean, maybe it makes it worse for the person who's spreading the misinformation. I'm not, I can't think of any instance where I've felt that way, where, you know, I saw some rumor or something and looked into it and then it blew things up. No, I mean, always happy to correct any sort of misinformation. I think it's part of our responsibility. If it's something that's getting a lot of attention and people are talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, people reach out to us from time to time with tips that are completely unfounded, and then you just stay away from it, I guess. But misinformation hasn't been, luckily, a huge issue that I've had to deal with, honestly. Here, as the editor of the Ipswich Local News.
Right. Well, give me an example of a tip that you got that just turned out to be.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely
you
not.
Want to bring any of these up?
I'm not going to help spread those rumors.
Oh,
No.
because if you, that's an interesting point.
Your tips are safe with us. Everybody out there listening, please send us tips, founded, unfounded. Let us figure that out.
That's a very cavalier attitude, or I should say more of a accommodating, generous. Because I obviously want to, if there are valid ones, you want to get them. So
Of course.
Okay, that makes sense.
Most of the time, it seems where there's smoke, there's fire. There's something going on, something to it. Not in all cases, of course. But I've had many more. Say 90% of the rumors that are brought to me, so to speak, wind up being founded in newsworthy.
Really?
Yeah. And even those I find on Facebook. Honestly, we all know Facebook is full of disinformation and BS, of course, but it's given us a lot of valuable story ideas. It's a really valuable tool for a reporter at the local level.
I think it's the nature of the beast. I mean, you're going to get that, especially on a platform like Facebook, which is literally billions of users at any given time, right? So there's going to be a lot of that, and I think maybe there needs to be a course in helping people how to figure out whether something is true or not, if they want to know.
I was going to say, who wants to take that course?
Right?
Sounds like a snooze, doesn't it?
It might be, but it'll be true, at least what you do or how you do it. Anyway, I don't know, something like that. But being Facebook is what it is, right? That's one thing, and ILN is another, right?
Absolutely.
So when you talk to someone, they go, I don't need local news. I'll just check social media. What are they missing, for example? And, how does that make you feel?
Who's saying that? Again, who's telling you these things?
This guy came up to me and he was like, I don't read that.
I'd like to meet this guy. No, if somebody said that to me, I'd say fine.
I think his name's Brendel.
Yeah, Doug. Yeah. He doesn't read our paper. He's in our paper. He doesn't read it. Just
Probably
kidding. Just
doesn't,
kidding,
right?
Doug. We love Doug.
Yeah.
No, I mean you're missing out on a whole lot. I mean, Facebook a lot of time is just surface level. It feels like, again, we get a lot of story ideas from there. It's just, we see something interesting. Somebody posted something really nice that happened in their life or something terrible that's going on. And then we, contact them, and there winds up being a whole lot more to that story than just what you're seeing on Facebook. And let me be clear, I'm really saying how great Facebook is here. It is an ugly place.
It is an ugly place.
I mean, our comment section can be an ugly place. It seems like, and what I often find is people they're a different version of themselves on Facebook. We all know that than they are in real life. It seems.
Guilty as charged. I think we all are.
Me too.
Absolutely.
I'm guilty of it too. I get in there and mix it up. From time to time.
The keyboard warrior mentality where, I'm behind this keyboard, you don't know who I am. And the thing is, that's increasingly less the case.
Yeah.
I just had an issue on Facebook with some guy who, disagreed with me. And he went and looked at my page.
How dare he disagree with you, Jim?
Right?
It's unbelievable.
But he looks at your page, you're like, you're stalking me now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because they want to assess your character so they can see what kind of insult they can lob.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they're trying to do.
You're dealing with some professional trolls.
Oh yeah, I had this one dude. He's like, "Oh, your wife looks like a dude."
That's awful.
I just laughed. Like, if you're secure with your life, it doesn't matter when those types of things happen.
Sure.
It's the other people those are the ones who fuel the fires, because they do take it personally and they get I've had people threaten me.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Sure. It's it's just par for the course. I think if you want to be in that mud,
Yeah.
you do it.
And are these people that you see around the community? Or are we talking about local people? I'm not asking for names, but
No, these are outside people.
Yeah.
I'm much more well behaved with people in town.
of course.
I mean,
Was this back in the tough neighborhood in Billerica?
yeah, that's part of it. No, actually, no, this is more like national stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why I'm able to say that all these great things about social media. Facebook's the only social media I really use. Is because I'm just using it at the local level. You know, I'm not really. Of course, I see all the other stuff going on. You know, nationally, of course, but when I'm on Facebook, I'm really zoned in on Ipswich, Rowley, this area. That's all I'm looking for. And I'm not going to jump in the comments on a Rolling Stone article with people, you know what I mean? Or CBS article, anything like that. I'm just looking for the local stories.
I mean, I am totally a victim, an addict to the rage bait. What I mean, I shouldn't even say I don't want to see it.
Are you on Twitter? You should be on Twitter.
Oh, I can't. No, Twitter's a cesspool.
It really is. It's gotten so bad ever since a certain somebody took over. It's an ugly, ugly, ugly place. It used to be so good.
Yeah, it's just. Did you hear what he just did now?
I'm not sure.
Well, he's under fire now because Grok, his AI tool, generated fake nudes of different celebrities and things like that.
Yep, I have seen that. Yeah, I hop on Twitter and scroll through, and that's everywhere right now.
I mean, and this is international.
Yeah.
People are mad all over the world.
There's got to be accountability for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and he can sit there and he's blaming the people who supposedly manipulated Grok to produce them. It's like it had the capability to do it, so that was a problem for you to have made sure to prevent.
Yeah, this really feels like hopefully a turning point, an inflection point in artificial intelligence. Because that's awful. And I'm seeing it anytime you jump on Twitter. You're seeing it everywhere now. Grok put this girl in a bikini, that sort of thing. Yeah, everywhere.
It's just, and you just wonder the people who do that. It's like, are you just that lonely in life, or are you just misogynistic? I don't know. It's kind of just, I don't understand it.
Yeah. Stay off Twitter, everybody.
Yeah, stay off Twitter, X, whatever it's called. Yeah. Muskland.
Oh, right. X,
Anyway, so it's interesting. Rowley, we mentioned that, and I was going to follow up and say, so how did Rowley end up being part of the picture now for Ipswich Local News? I mean, the other woman, it's kind of, we're jealous. They get attention now. So what's that about? Why did Rowley get involved?
I think the Local News was, so I've only been with the paper for, it'll be 3 years in February. And I'm trying to remember, I think Rowley was already in the mix by the time I came around. And I believe our reporter, Amy Palmer, who lives in Rowley, I think it was her idea. I think she might have pitched it to John. At least she takes credit for it, I think. But I think she pitched the idea to John, said, hey, let me take a crack at covering Rowley and finding some stories. And I think John brought them into the fold after that. And Rowley's always been, I spend a lot of time looking at old Ipswich Chronicles. I do a feature this week in Ipswich's Old News every week. And Rowley always had its own page in the Chronicle. Maybe not always, but most of the time it did. I mean, the Chronicle was around since the 1800s, but Rowley always had its own page, sometimes 2 pages. And of course, if there's a big story in Rowley, they would always cover it. But I can't speak to exactly how it began. But personally, I'm happy it did. And there is some of that, the other woman or the other man mentality. We have received letters from both Ipswich and Rowley.
Rowley?
It's funny when we get them from Rowley, and they're saying, I don't care what's going on in Ipswich. And it's like, well, we're the Ipswich Local News.
Cool your jets
exactly.
there, kid.
Not many of those. Let me be clear. There have not been many of those, just a couple. But we do get a few from Ipswich folks from time to time saying, please, less Rowley. But there's only a few of those. as well.
I mean,
I think they're tied together in a lot of ways too. It's interesting to see. I mean, they're dealing with the same issues in Rowley that we are in Ipswich, whether it's clamming or Section 3A or 40B developments. That was the front page this week. Is a big 40B development. Rowley Farms is advancing, at least moving into the next phase of the Zoning Board of Appeals process, and that's going to be 395 apartments in Rowley. So
I think
I think that has an effect on Ipswich.
I read about that.
Ways, right?
Yeah, traffic-wise, especially.
Right. That's everybody always goes to traffic, but there was a lot of responses in the Ipswich Facebook page to that story.
Yeah.
I think people here, I hope the majority of people who read our paper do have some interest in what's going on in Rowley, and I hope folks in Rowley have interest in what's going on in Ipswich. Otherwise, this wouldn't work out, and it's working pretty well so far.
I think, border towns have the most in common. I mean, things don't stop at the border, a lot of things. Right? So
they're two completely different towns, of course.
They are.
Yeah.
Except for addresses, because my address, I live in Outer Linebrook.
You're on the border, right? Yeah.
And so my address on where I live is the same. They have the same exact address in Rowley. The basically there's the border in the middle of the street.
Does it run through your property line, the border?
No, we're not that close.
If anybody gets mad at you, they can investigate and see if you really can have that beach. Are you a Rowley resident? Are you actually a Rowley resident, John?
I'm going to take
That's my next investigation right
I'm
there.
going to take a fifth on that one. I'm going to drink a fifth too. So I could never do that. But anyway, that's what I think is strange. Like, I'm at your house. It's like, where?
Oh, so they're going to the Rowley address.
They're going to the Rowley address.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like, well, it's a green colonial. No, it's 23. Well, yeah, but it's not. It's not it. Anyway, all right. Being that you don't live in Ipswich or Rowley, you live in Gloucester or Essex?
Essex.
Yeah. Okay. So you like CK Pearl?
I do, of course. Yeah.
I love CK Pearl, man. That's a great sitting on that deck in the summer.
Yeah. I see a lot of folks from Ipswich there, and at the James too. Have you been to the James yet?
I don't love the James.
You don't love the James?
I'm not in love with that.
Cut this.
No.
Noah, cut this out of the interview, please.
I want everyone to know James sucks.
Oh, how dare you? You're not a Guinness drinker, clearly.
Well, no, it wasn't. Well, it wasn't the beer. It was the food. It just didn't appeal. It sounded good, and then I got it, and it was like,
how dare you?
But this is very purely objective.
All right, I'm out of here. Everybody.
Subjective. We are not done yet, son.
Don't you start trashing Essex in this interview.
Hell no. I love Essex.
Yeah.
Not as much as Ipswich, but hey, I love the Boathouse Grill too. It's one of my favorite places.
It's fantastic. Talk about right on the border. That's right across the town line, right?
Yeah, we discovered that, and they had the oyster sliders, and I'm like, oh my god,
oyster sliders.
Yeah,
I never tried those.
Yeah, it's
So it's like,
I should say, I'm sorry, not oyster, clam.
I was gonna say oyster
clam sliders. Yeah,
that sounds not great actually.
I've had oyster sliders before, but this was in Boston. It's
like
different.
Frying the oysters.
Yeah, they fry them. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was delicious.
Never tried.
Although I'm a totally like a raw oyster fan though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
So, but yeah, so it was clams, but one of my favorite things to eat there, and their drinks are just kick ass. And I mean literally kick your ass. Right. At first I went there, I'm like, oh my god, they actually serve liquor in their Manhattans.
Yeah, they give you healthy portions there. On the fronts, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Huge portions. So yeah,
I believe it's the same owner, right? That owns Boathouse owns Choate Bridge Pub.
They do now, yeah.
Blue Marlin in Essex. They just opened the new place in Essex. Jeez, I'm blanking on the name now. A new place right down by the boat launch there. Sorry, Corey. I think the owner's name is Corey. I'm sure he's not watching, but
yeah,
he's too busy. He's got a lot of restaurants.
Probably got a lot of restaurants to run.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of all his places. Yeah.
We were wondering what happened with the location they were in the middle of renovating, and then they abandoned.
Which one was this?
Just up at the corner of Route 1 and 133, right past it. I forget what they called it now because it's closed. It was open for a while, but this is during the pandemic and then a little bit after. And we thought the Choate Bridge opportunity came on, and they just said, Screw that one. We'll
We
take
ran to that one. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah.
It's not talking about where Spuds was in Rowley. Are we talking
I
about?
think it's Spuds. Yeah, the blue.
Okay,
blue,
yeah.
blue building.
That's back to Facebook again. The Rowley group. I love the Rowley group. There's always somebody in there saying, "What's happening at the old Spuds location?"
Is they? Oh, so there you go.
We've
right?
written a few stories. There's been quite a few tries to launch something there that seem to have sputtered.
Yeah. So it doesn't seem like you don't feel the human impact of, I mean, that you do feel the human impact regardless that you live in Essex. I mean, you're not that far away. The next town over on the other side is basically it. So.
Yeah. What do you mean human impact? Then?
Well, like being outside of the town
Oh,
geographically.
Well, I've always told anytime somebody gets mad at me or accuses me of being biased in any one direction on a story, I always tell them I live in Essex.
Hey, man.
It might sound harsh, but I don't care
No
if you
skin
have
in the game.
one new school or two new schools, where the public safety building is going, any of these big projects. My kids aren't going to school here. It doesn't affect me. So that's always my out for those things. But yeah, I do see that I believe that I'm just naturally objective. Because that, not to say if I did live here that I couldn't still be objective. John Muldoon lived here, and
Yeah.
he seemed to do just fine, remaining objective. We just want to let people know what's happening, what's going on. Here's what they said. Here's the information. You know, as an editor, maybe I will write a letter or a note from the editor and editorialize a bit, but I don't ever see it happening where I'm going to say, you know, Ipswich should be doing this or going in this direction or anything like that. But yeah, having some distance from the town, I feel it's a healthy distance. There are some drawbacks too.
Yeah.
You know, when there's a car crash at 10:30 at night, I'm not going to be able to get out here in time. It'll probably be cleaned up by the time I get here. But our executive director, Eric Gedstad, shout out Eric, has been our on-scene car crash reporter lately. So
oh, really? So
we
he's
can
taking
ship
it up,
him
huh?
there, yeah. But I'd love to live in Ipswich. It's, other than my hometown in New York, it's my favorite town in the world, Ipswich.
Oh, we're in New York.
Sorry, Essex, over Essex too. But
We're in New York.
small town, Star Lake, New York, in the Adirondacks, basically Canada.
Oh, is that where
Way
that
up
the girl from The Boys comes from? No, you don't know that. You don't know that show?
No,
I'm okay. I'm really showing myself.
you'll have to refresh my.
It's on. It's based on a comic called The Boys. It's basically this alternate world where these other super, heroes.
Oh, the super. Oh,
exist.
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, the boys. Yeah.
Okay, so one of them is
What
called
the
Starlight.
hell does that have? Oh, okay. No, so Star Lake, not Starlight. Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
I
what
can't
the
hear
hell is
anymore.
this guy talking about?
All right, well, fine. Then it's Star. Forget I said it.
You know, shout out Star Lake, New York.
Sorry, my geekdom came out there for a second.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Last question. In this,
Jeez, we're already at the last question.
we could keep going.
I feel like I
No
haven't said
problem with
anything yet. I'm just getting warmed up, John.
Hell, if you got something you want to cover, please feel free. But beyond that, like, let me see if I can get I don't have a crystal ball, so let's see crystal water. Let's look 5-10 years down the road here. What's success for Island? Sounds like Island. Ipswich Local News. What does it look like?
5-10 years down the road?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully newspapers still exist 5-10 years down the road.
That's a big accomplishment.
Right? If we still have a print newspaper 5-10 years down the road, that is a success right there. Because they're dropping like flies, it seems. I mean, yeah, just keeping this thing going. Hopefully we're able to grow. I mean, not, I don't have any dreams of like expansion or anything like that, but grow staff size, more reporters, more photographers, more everything, and more coverage. Maybe, a bigger paper, more news, just more. But 5-10 years, I hope our reporter Amy Palmer is at the Boston Globe or the New York Times by then, and she's winning Pulitzer Prizes. I think she's an amazing talent,
Great.
young and heading places. And speaking of young and talented,
Thank you.
you're welcome. A big thing I really am trying to, that I'm going to be working on. I'd like to grow our internships. We don't have many student reporters. I'd like to. When I first came on, we had Ellen Niederhellman, Charlie Quimby, both of whom have since graduated, gone to college.
Right.
I thought they did a fantastic job reporting for us. Ella was always getting the inside scoop inside the schools, and we have a couple interns right now, Anna Kalinowski, Ben, I'm going to butcher your name, Ben Mirabile. But yeah, I think it's really important for a local newspaper to work with, if there are any kids that are even interested in journalism anymore, I hope they'll come to us. I hope that they'll reach out and say, hey, can I help out? I'd really like to help grow the next generation of reporters. I think that was always important to John Muldoon, John and Kristen. I think they did a fantastic job with that. And working with local colleges, Endicott, I know they have a journalism program. And Triton has a fantastic student newspaper. So I'd really like to get some more student perspectives in our paper. I always love those stories.
When you say life is cyclical, though, and I at least I'm hopeful that things will turn around and people will begin to be more interested in the truth, or at least local events and community goings on, right? I mean, we know that from the lack of local papers, that most people are sort of in the dark about what happens in their own town. Did I also see somewhere along the lines that you were looked at as a model for other towns to start newspapers?
I've heard that. I know John, when John was here, John Muldoon, he spent a lot of time talking to other papers in the area. They haven't been reaching out to me quite as often, but I know people would reach out from time to time and quiz him about the model. It's a unique model, the nonprofit model. It's still unique. There are other papers doing it, but in my opinion, there should be more. Again, but it comes back to the community. How much does your community care? It's up to the community to keep the newspaper alive in any model, of course, but especially nonprofit, because we're depending on your donations and, how much do we mean to you? There's no set price that you're going to pay us. It's up to you what you donate. And luckily for us, we have a lot of generous donors in this town. And I think that could work in a lot of other towns.
Not me.
No, not you. When's the last time you donated, John?
Gonna take the 5th again,
and that's okay.
Last year I did. I didn't do it this year.
Well, thank you, and thank you to everybody out there who donated. We exceeded our goal this year for fundraising. Kudos to Eric Edstad, who did a fantastic job with fundraising. He hit the ground running when he came here, and so thank you very much to everyone out there for helping us survive.
And I think that's in a town the size of Ipswich, right? And if you bring Rowley in, it's still not that many people. So if it can work here, I think it could work in bigger towns and cities. Don't you think? I mean, there's a nonprofit model. You can have more people donating. Sure, that's probably a bigger operation, in if a bigger city or town. But I mean, I think it's all proportionate. I think I think the interest is there.
I think so too. I hope so. Anyways, again, I'm not the most experienced. I jumped in here and everything was already set up, and I was like, wow, look at this, great, it's awesome. Why would anybody do anything else? So this is I have very limited experience in the newspaper business, but I say it all the time. Why isn't everybody doing this?
So you're taking zero credit for everything that's going on in the paper?
I don't know about zero. I think I've contributed. I hope I've contributed quite a bit in my almost 3 years here.
16-hour Mondays, laying out a paper in your basement where most guys are playing games at that point.
That's right.
So that's something to be commended, I think. And there's a lot. We look forward to the paper every week. We look forward to that's our thing. Like we don't actually read it till Saturday morning, but we read it at breakfast.
Now you told me that you and your wife read it aloud to each other. Is that right?
Yeah.
So ever since you told me that, I interviewed John a couple weeks ago. There was a story in the paper. I hope people saw and read. And ever since you told me that, now when I write an article, I'll read them aloud to myself to say, how's this going to sound at John's breakfast table Saturday morning? And it helps. It actually helps. I think that's a good tip for any writer to read your stuff aloud. Of course, the vast majority of people are not reading our paper aloud to themselves, but I found that it kind of helps.
I think it helps because you're putting your voice to it, as you read it. And if you have a spouse or someone else who cares,
Yeah.
they're going to hear it more, I think.
Yeah, and if it sounds like, it's a quick way to find out if a sentence like reads or sounds stiff and needs to, you need to. I'd like to be more conversational, in my tone. And John Muldoon, shouting him out a lot. I think he always did a great job. But I was always envious of how I am envious of how he writes. Just short sentences. It doesn't read all the time like something you would read in any other newspaper. He's got a real talent for just getting right to the point and just boom, boom, boom.
Man bites dog.
Man bites dog. Boom. There you go. That sounds like a John Muldoon headline. But yeah, I'm a little more wordy, I'd say. But I'm trying to pull that back a little bit.
I think everything requires a certain amount of words to make the point.
Yeah. Especially when you're dealing with such complicated town government zoning issues, whatever it might be.
The other thing I like to
Public
do is
Safety Facility Committee. I'm so tired of writing that out.
Right.
Public Safety Facility Committee.
PSFC.
Yes,
Do you
just
just
abbreviate
do
to PSFC. I do. You say it once and then you abbreviate it.
Yeah, because there's some long ones in here in this town, but so I forgot what I was going to ask you after that when you were saying that. But when I read aloud, I'll often add different voices to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I read Doug's article, for example, I'll try to be him.
Oh, that's gotta be fun.
Which is hard. It's hard to talk like anybody else but yourself. But I mean, I think that's why people who have the ability to imitate others are talented. But
are you very theatrical when you read like Doug? Like it's a stage play?
No. Well, we're sitting at the table, so it's hard. But
True.
I will try to again to channel my inner Dougdom.
Mm-hmm.
Dougdom. Anyway. All right.
And since we've mentioned Doug so much, I need to give a shout out to Bob Waite, our other columnist. They have the spread together.
Sorry, Bob.
Bob, we love you.
We love Bob. Bob's got some interesting takes on things, and I'm jealous of his life, but that's another story.
Me too. He's a world traveler, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So saying he's got a lot of stories.
Yes, he does.
So, well, this has been really cool, Trevor, and you're going to come back?
We'll see.
I think we could talk more. Oh, I see. That's how it is.
We'll see.
Yeah. I'm going to hammer you with emails. Not that you read them, but I will do that anyway.
It's not that I don't read them. Sometimes I just can't get to them right away. I just got to be patient.
All right. Fair enough. But, we're not done. If you've seen any of these,
I have seen these
Sane Estate episodes, there's another section that we do. It's something we call the lightning round. Okay, so as you know, this is the area. This is the section of the show where we ask some really abstract, silly, serious, and stupid questions all rolled into one. This is just things that come off the back of my head, maybe the front, but getting really just a glimpse into my id, which is sad for some people, and then probably everyone's turning it off by now, going, "I'm not listening to that guy's questions now." But you're here.
I fast forward to the lightning round.
Do you?
No, it's not true.
You're gonna have to suffer them.
I do love the lightning round until I have to do the lightning round. Let's see.
All right, ready?
I'm ready.
When Pinocchio says, "My nose will grow now,"
oh God,
does it?
Read that to me one more time.
When Pinocchio says, "My nose will grow now," does it actually grow?
Well, it depends if he's lying, right? Isn't that why his nose grows?
Well, that's why his nose grows, right? So if he says it's going to grow and it doesn't, it's true.
You just twisted me into a pretzel on the first lightning round question, John.
But here's the problem. He says it's going to grow and it doesn't. It's true, but he lied because he said it was going to grow.
Like Cynthia August said, boo.
That's the...
Next question.
Chilling Cynthia now. All right.
Oh, my God. You got booed quite a bit on that episode. That was
she's a
that
tough
was
cookie.
Fun. Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
All right. Number 2. At what point does the phrase, "bear with me," become a security threat?
Bear with me. Become a security threat.
Safety concern. How about that?
I
Bear with me.
I don't even know where to begin to answer that question. You tell me. What do you? Let me turn the interview. Give me the prompter. Let me read the lightning round to you. Where are you getting these questions? Are these Chat GPT questions?
No, they're not. This is actually me.
Oh my goodness, John.
Do you believe it? That's the thing. That's weird, but yeah.
I do believe it.
But
I don't even know where to begin.
okay. Well, it's a pun, right?
Bear with me.
Yeah. So when does it become a safety concern? Because it's a bear with you. See, okay, that was super vague.
Boo.
All right, I'll work on those. Here's one that's probably a little easier for you to grasp.
I thought you were going to ask me, like, where's the best fried clams? That's what you asked Doug. That was in the first episode.
I was a novice.
Oh, my goodness.
We got better.
This lightning round's getting out of control.
This is what it's all about. This is the gist of it.
Mm.
Yeah. The rubber meets the road, right?
It means something.
Number 3, yes or no?
Okay.
Is being called a yellow journalist a black and white statement?
No.
Why?
Because I don't even really know what a yellow journalist is, to be honest.
Okay.
I remember learning about it in social studies back in 8th grade.
Ooh.
Yellow journalism. Where did that come from? The 1930s?
Because you're not guilty of any, apparently.
There
right?
you go. Yellow journalism.
Yeah,
Remind
yellow
me what it
journalism is inflammatory or misleading stories to sell papers.
Not a black and white
We
statement.
kind of have that.
There's all sorts of different yellow journalism.
They
right?
call it something different now, as we talked about.
Oh,
Misinformation.
misinformation.
Right?
I like bring yellow journalism back.
I think so.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
If I ever dabble in yellow journalism, please email me. Let me know.
I will. I'm kind of like that.
I won't read it.
I'm not gonna call you out. You know what I mean?
I won't read it if you email me, John.
That's true. Wow. Oh man, what a paradox. All right. Fine. We'll work on that one.
Okay.
I will. I'll find a way. I'm very resourceful.
Go through Doug.
Who's Doug?
Who's Doug? That's right.
Number 4. When you draw a conclusion, do you use pencil or crayons?
Crayons. I hate pencils.
It should be the answer because any conclusion has to have some color.
There you go. And we've got plenty of crayons in my household. 2 young kids hate pencils. Does anybody write with pencils anymore? Ed Colley, our cartoonist. I've got to shout everybody out at the paper before I leave.
There you go, Ed Colley, right?
Yep.
And so I guess kids in school still use pencil, number 2 pencil, right?
You got me. I don't know.
Why is it number 2 pencil? What happened to number 1?
That's a great question. I think we're ready. I think we're ready for number 3 at this point.
I think that's an investigative piece right there.
That's a good one.
What happened to number 1 pencil? Yeah. Film at 11. All right. When news breaks, does it get fixed or you use it as is?
Gets fixed. I'm an editor.
Oh, that is a good point.
Has to get fixed.
Very good point. All right. We'll run with that one. That was an easy one, right?
That was so far the easiest, I'd say, yeah.
Maybe this one will be easier. Number 6, true or false? By definition, conspiracy theorists work together.
True or false conspiracy theorists? False. I'd say false. I mean, the conspiracy theorists I'm familiar with online seem to be tearing each other apart right now.
Isn't it funny? It's like, no, they don't. It's like,
I mean, let me back up. Who amongst us is not a conspiracy theorist?
I think
I'm
want
a conspiracy
to believe
guy.
things,
I
right?
think you have to be a conspiracy person at this point.
I used to be super into aliens and they visited Earth and all this stuff, and it's like,
I mean, we've got UAPs flying around, right? Is that the new term for them? UFOs?
Unidentified, what? Active participant?
There you go. No. There you go.
What is that?
Aerial phenomenon.
Oh, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Yeah.
Aerial phenomenon. So, I mean, if you're not a conspiracy theorist at this point, I mean, what is going on? Got little orbs flying through the air.
I went backwards, though. I was like, here's the thing. I still think, obviously, here's what I think. I think that we're not alone. That's just a ridiculous concept to think we're alone in the universe. Mm-hmm. However, has anyone visited the planet? I'm still waiting for the evidence.
So what do you think these little silver balls that are flying all around? What do you think of those things? Government, military,
Stray paintballs from
just
the local
just paintballs
arcade.
that let loose. I like that theory. Those are big paintballs, but I like that theory.
Bubbles. I don't know.
They've got to go somewhere. Where are they going to land? Yeah.
Lots of bubbles. Everyone makes bubbles. I'm just.
There you
You know,
Well, that's a conspiracy right there.
Yeah.
UAPs are actually bubbles
I got
floating
my own
through the air.
conspiracy theories, but I'm not going to talk about them.
Oh, come on. Next episode.
Like,
I'll come back if we can just talk about conspiracy theories next time.
like why Dr. Smith on Lost in Space turned into the villain or turned into a clown. And I'm really dating myself because
I was
going to
say,
what is that show
Is
even?
that Danger Will Robinson? Is that Lost in
Oh,
Space?
look, you know that much.
That's all I remember. I had a grandfather who watched these shows.
Grandfather. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's great
Watch
to know.
MASH and Andy Griffith and then Lost in Space.
Do, 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 do.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
anyway.
can't whistle that well.
Number 7. This is the last one. Just to let you off the hook.
Already?
But and this just shows you the randomness of my thoughts. True or false? Electricians are experts in current affairs.
True.
Ooh, that's supposed to jump table. But
Oh, I did it earlier.
did anyway.
Sorry, no, it's Noah, right?
Yeah.
I've been calling him Noah. Sorry, Noah.
Sorry, Noah. All right.
And shout out Noah while I'm shouting everybody out.
You passed the lightning round with flying colors, maybe?
Did I?
No.
No, I felt like I failed.
You kind of failed a little bit.
Yeah.
That's me, though.
Next time.
That's what happens when you throw out these crazy questions that, maybe you don't. So, I'm dating myself, too, with the yellow journalism. It was like, okay, that was determined in the 30s, 40s,
I remember
30s,
in
I
my
don't know.
history textbooks.
Yeah, but anyone who knows newspapers, not anyone except Trevor here, if has been in the newspaper business knows what, maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm not in the newspaper business, so I wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
I'm just totally guessing.
Me either. What's your favorite part of the paper?
The part that's not in there anymore.
Tales from the Scanner.
Tales from the Scanner.
Oh, I get it all the time.
And
I'm
we talked about
haunted by
this.
Tales from the Scanner. And so everybody knows, if they're still listening after that lightning round,
Yeah.
we're working to bring it back. I bought my own scanner. I was worried. I live in Essex. That was another drawback. I did not think that the scanner would be able to pick up at Ipswich Police.
It's a different channel,
It
right?
does. I'm able to get it in Essex. So I've been paying attention. I've put a few, I think I've done one or two Tales from the Scanner in the past few weeks.
So I offered to help you if you wanted to get the thing connected. Remember we talked about
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You need to swing by the office and hook it up to the computer.
I could do it,
I know
or at
you
least
could.
I could try.
How much do you charge?
Free. You just charge.
Oh, there we go. Oh, thanks for the books, by the way. My children loved them.
They
John
did?
John brought me a whole bunch of. He's a children's author. I don't know if you've talked about that on this show.
I'm not supposed to promote
Oh, well, I'll do it for you. He'll give them away for free.
to you.
Just swing by his house, Outer Linebrook. We don't know if it's Rowley or Ipswich, but
They'll be on the porch.
they'll be on the porch. Just grab them.
That's
No,
well,
thank you for that. That was great.
I
My
appreciate
kids loved
that.
it. I haven't had a chance to thank you for that.
I need feedback, so I appreciate that. They
Oh,
like them.
they loved them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Could you do? I don't know if you'll ever get around to it, but I'm going to ask you if you could go on Amazon and put a review.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That would be fantastic.
Oh, my pleasure.
Trevor, this has been awesome, man. I appreciate your flexibility and your playfulness in getting this done
Of course,
today.
been fun.
I'm sure people are going to learn some stuff from this interview. Maybe stuff they don't want to know, but too bad. Beyond that, though, but thanks for doing the work, and thanks for coming on.
Of course.
All right.
Thank you.
So from all of this, we learned that local journalism doesn't exist to entertain. It can, but it's more exists to be accurate when accuracy is inconvenient. Why is accuracy inconvenient? Because it might give you something or tell you something you really don't want to hear. And that's the way the cookie crumbles, right? So how I look at it is supporting local news isn't charity. Unfortunately, you have to depend on charity to some point, but it's not charity to support something that delivers important information and becomes part of the culture of the town, I think. So in my book, it's not charity, it's an investment in truth. And that's a stock that I think we all need to own more of, right? All right. If you want to be a guest, The Sane Hotel, like a hotel, Sane Hotel, I said, right? The Sane Estate, like a hotel, is always looking for new guests. Artists, business owners, rule breakers, civic leaders, organizers, and anyone helping shape life here in Ipswich. How do you get on the show? $50. No, actually, you can just email me at guest@saneestate.com or visit saneestate.com and fill out the contact form. You bring the story, and I will bring the questions. This has been the Sane Estate. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, but most of all, stay sane.